I just wanted to welcome everybody to our third quarter town hall meeting. Thank you everybody for coming. I also wanted to just thank each and every one of you for supporting Element 11 through the year. Not only our event, but our town hall meetings and our Burner Day in the Park and our Art Start program. We couldn't do it without all of you guys. So if you're a volunteer, if you're an artist, if you're just a participant, if you shared your passions and your talents and your gifts with us, thank you very much, and we greatly appreciate it. We couldn't do it without all of you. And thank you everybody for making Element 11 this year the greatest Element 11 we've ever had in It was extremely nice to share that with all participants of all ages, all you kids that came out. It was excellent having you there, so thank you. On to the next thing, Board of Directors nominations for new board members. We're going to open up nominations on September 7th, and we're going to go through the 30th. In the month of October, we're going to go ahead and do our interviews and have board members, potential new board members, after we vote, fill out their paperwork, and we will introduce them at the Q4 Town Hall on November 6th. So if you have somebody in mind that you think would be a valuable asset to Element 11, go ahead and submit their names. We'll have a link. And talk to them first, please. Let them know that you've nominated them beforehand.
It's way more fun when they don't.
And as we approach that date, Stan will go ahead and make an announcement through all the avenues of Facebook and emailing and stuff like that to let everybody know how to do that. So thank you. And Cassie's going to go ahead and talk about our financials now.
So in our checking account, we have $161,015.31. In savings, we have $10,086.47. In petty cash, we have $528.88, which is $171,630.66.
Nice.
Out of that, $3,870.84 is the RC funds.
What are the RC funds?
The RC funds are funds that we hold in our account through a sponsorship agreement that we manage their money from their events. So for the tree planting to decompression or anything that the RCs run or plan, we manage their funds for them because they don't have an account set up. And then we send whatever payments that they have for their events that we pay for from their funds.
Because we're a 501c3, and as a 501c3 we can umbrella other organizations who have not yet achieved their 501c3 status, or perhaps they never will, but it's a nice thing that allows them to be able to operate as a 501c3 without actually being a 501c3.
Basically lets them have events and do stuff and not have to worry about personally managing money. So
And our RCs take care of us, just like we take care of them.
yeah. Wait, do they? Is that what you said?
They take care of us.
Keep the gloves up.
So for year to date, our total income is $166,721.30, and our total expenses is $107,822.59, which is our net income of $57,974.06. So I want to just do a little data dump from E11 for you guys. So we sold 664 tickets in person, so that's Burner Day in the Park, Iconoclad, or Ranger Training. 690 tickets were sold online on Eventbrite. So the total number of tickets sold for Element 11 is 1,353 tickets. Out of those, 1,287 tickets were sold to people over the age of 21. 39 tickets were sold to people between 18 to 20 years old, and 28 tickets were sold to children under 18. we did have, so there might have been some ticket crossover because we did have 33 participants under the age of 18 at our event that had the minor form filled out. We sold tickets to 4 different countries: USA, Canada, New Zealand, and Denmark, and 19 states. We did extend our event one day, so we had early entry on Tuesday. We had 131 participants come on Tuesday for setup, and then the rest of them throughout the rest of the week. At the end of the event, we had 1,273 participants come to the event, which was 94% of the ticket purchasers. This year we counted cars because we do have quite a bit of expense with road repair pre and post the event. So this year we have 691 vehicles come through the gate. So that's like half. So we should encourage more carpooling.
Did that include RVs or just cars?
No, that included any vehicle that came through the gate.
That's not including the trailers, because those are attached.
Those, correct. Yeah. So either RV or truck, car, trailer, truck, and trailer. So for the event, our total festival income was $164,290.54, and our expenses were $107,344.30, which is our net income for the festival of $56,946.24.
Awesome.
So what does that mean for art grants for next year?
Our art grant is that we give is based off of 75% of the net income for the entire year. So we're not through the year yet, so we can't say.
But it's looking good.
But yeah, so stay tuned. When we had our first meeting, it was looking like we would have about 38,000. This year we granted 30,000. So as long as we stay on track with our expenses, which road repair is going to be quite a bit. So we don't know where we're going to land, but
We are looking at more money than we've ever had before.
exactly.
Use smile.amazon.com. How many know about smile.amazon.com? Yeah. So if you select Element 11 as the foundation, and you can do multiple, you can be incestuous, that's cool. But select Element 11, and then everything that you buy,
We get 0.05% of the purchase.
Yeah.
We get it quarterly, and I usually post every quarter how much we receive. Don't worry, we don't know what you buy. We don't get like your fireworks list how much you're purchasing all the time. So, does anyone have any questions on our finances or the 11 expenses?
Thank you for wrangling us.
I do have a question. How much was the bands for the fire tribe? How much did that cost?
The fire performer.
$144.76.
Those were fantastic.
Live strong bands.
You have 200 left.
I do the safety class. I can spin.
Yeah.
They don't have a year on them. There we go.
All right. We've got our Element 11 theme contest.
Jack LaBrea.
So that was a good one. So come up with a creative theme. What do you want the next theme to be? And it's actually kind of fun. Like I talked to Mickey. Mickey was the one who sort of came up with the idea last year. And it's fun seeing your creation then turn into effigies, marketing, graphics. That's kind of a cool feeling. It's kind of weird. It's kind of strange. So come up with a good idea. And the dates, we're going to be accepting nominations until September 16th. So that means if you come up with an idea, you can submit it online. We posted the website online. We'll take them until the 16th, and then from the 19th of September to the 25th is when you guys will all be able to start voting. We'll post a link where you guys can vote for your favorite theme out of all those themes, whatever that theme might be. And then we will announce on the 30th. So it could be whatever you want. Yeah.
Do you want like a storyboard idea or just put out flat on paper?
So usually what it is if you, the idea would be like whatever that theme idea is, and then you can write a blurb about it. So for example, if you want to write like a little paragraph of, you know, like whispering through the woods. There it is. You know, the magic robot from the year 910 BC. Oh, that's a great thing. Let's go with that. If they decide.
Okay. Typically, if there's a story with it, it's easier to like visualize how the event will go.
You're just basically selling it to people that are going to vote on it.
Yeah. And so you want to be the most vocal, creative about it, and think kind of outside the box. I think one one event did, or another regional did Apocalypse Meow. So it doesn't necessarily have to be just like, so it can be whatever you want. That's the magic of it. It's kind of fun.
Utopia's this year is Choose Your Own Adventure.
I encourage you to have your children submit ideas too.
Yeah, this is all ages now, so the kids can
Don't do that.
come up with themes, right? What would be a good theme? Really quick.
Who has a bush this year?
I don't know. Is it an awesome theme? What's the theme? Princess. We're all princesses. There it is. Okay. The submissions have now been closed. We have our theme for next year. The I don't know princess. So submit. It'll be fun, you guys. And then we'll announce on the 30th.
Is the 30th decompression?
30th is decompression. So what we usually do is we'll have a cool little video that announces the theme, like we did last year with the jackalope, and then we'll do something fun this year, and then you guys will be able to see it, and then go to decompression and be either really happy or, damn it, my theme wasn't chosen. But then you'll learn to love the new theme or hate it.
So is decompression actually separate from fall equinox this year?
Yeah, it has been the last several years. Yeah. 2 years? 2 years.
The last 2 years it has.
I think it's not going to be a fourth wave adventure this year because of a sound problem. They have a problem. They can't do sound after midnight was the last thing I heard. But Darcy's not here to announce that officially yet. So
yeah, we don't have the information.
We're at the end of September. Way to make announcements.
yeah.
We can email
Way to stir it up. You have to know the answer to it.
We'll pass that information.
Unfortunately, we don't have the information about decompression. That's the RC event.
Yeah, it's an RC event. So I'm not sure.
I'm moving on. I'm moving in. So I want to thank you guys all again. Like Joe said, kind of piggyback off what he said. Thank you all for coming out and making Element 11 possible. I mean, the communal effort this year was just magnificent. It just made my heart swell personally. And I personally want to point out one person in the crowd, Ann Simmons Russo. Thank you so much. Definitely won Element 11, and I just really appreciate how well and how put together the volunteer lounge was because of you and your team. And we fed 800 meals and hundreds of people. It was incredible. Awesome. Yeah.
Who in here actually went and got a meal at the volunteer lounge?
Oh yeah.
That curry was amazing.
It was all delicious.
It was so good. There was something in there.
And then things coming down the line are we're gonna have the volunteer appreciation party to show our thanks to you guys. It's gonna be Wednesday, September 21st at the Jackalope Lounge, kind of fitting because of our theme this year. And yeah, we're gonna have opportunity drawing, a local DJ, and it's gonna be a local venue, so let's go support them. And finally, I'd love to see you guys out there. Let's chit chat. I mean, I'm not that good at emailing, so I'd love to hear your feedback in person. Let's talk about it. And thank all of you. Appreciate it.
All good?
Alright. Just kind of to continue on a little bit more about volunteers. I just thought it'd be cool for you guys to hear the statistics and, kind of like some of the awesomeness that is out there supporting this festival because everyone is a volunteer. So big thank you to you all. And so we had over 600 slots to fill for volunteers. And there's many unspoken little, slots and things to do and that have to be done. So tons and tons of, needs for volunteers. We're not talking about just a few. And we had over 200 volunteers, and that is not counting rangers and medical. So the number is actually a lot higher. So and that's different. I think our volunteer base is growing every year, which is great. I think we're all, just getting more people involved and plugged in, and just kind of getting more people to understand that this festival is run by volunteers, which I think is really important. And I think lots of new people probably don't know that. So we're trying to encourage that. And so we had 77% of shifts filled online through Sign Up Genius. Christmas with all the gazillion reminders. Thank you for bearing with me on that. So yeah, not everyone's technologically savvy. Yeah, 77%, but a lot more were, people signed up at the actual event. So that statistic's actually a lot higher. I feel like our bases were pretty covered, and that was awesome because that was almost double the shifts from last year. So we really tried to, put more things in place, having an extra day, and that created a lot more needs for volunteers. So you guys you had so much help for that, which was awesome. And it was the second year of Sanctuary. Just wanted to touch on that since that's kind of our newest volunteer department. Wynn helps out with that as well. But Sanctuary helps support Rangers and Medical, and they've been growing and kicking butt, and so it's been an awesome new department. And if you guys have any other ideas for volunteer needs or other cool things we can start and do, and then feedback is always welcome. So please feel free to email, message me if you have any feedback on what we can do better next year. Since there's so many moving parts to volunteers, it's nice to just know firsthand from you guys actually doing these shifts, what can we do better? Because sometimes things get overlooked and missed, and we want to hear that feedback to do it better. And also just reminding that we are calculating the volunteer recognition, and that should be sent out soon. We're kind of just trying to get the final numbers on that. So expect an email. I'm going to be sending those out, and if you have any questions about your hours, please contact me or ask me or talk to your lead, or I just want to make sure everyone is in the know about their hours and recognition and things like that, so we don't have any last minute freaking out at Iconoclad.
That didn't happen.
No.
Never does.
Yeah, and I mean, to your point, that's a very good point. We try our best, and our leads try their best to track hours, but it's not a perfect process, even though we continue to improve every year. So if any of you in the audience or any of you watching online later have a problem with your hours, if they didn't get recorded right, just let us know, please. We're sorry in advance, but just let us know. We'd much rather know about it and be able to fix it than to have you upset.
Yeah, so for sure. So yeah, big thank you.
Where do we check our volunteer hours?
They'll be sent to you.
Where? Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but since we have so many people, my plan was to I'd let everyone know when I'm sending them out, and that I would email the people that got some kind of recognition. So, everyone else that just worked maybe like 2 hours or something, like one shift. If you want to know what you got, I have all the information, but I'm not necessarily going to email everyone that worked 2 hours because that's a big daunting task. So that's why I'm encouraging everyone to talk to me if you don't get an email, but I'll post that and remind everyone when that's going on.
So how many hours did they have to work to get an email?
10 is the first tier. So if you work a minimum of 10 hours, you get a quarter off ticket. 20 hours is half off, and then 35 or more hours is a free ticket next year. So, awesome. All right. Any other questions about volunteers? All right. Cool. Thank you guys.
I'd like to give a brief volunteer overview of Rangers, Medical, and Security. Volunteer, I can talk. Can I sit here? Sure.
I don't know if you
The camera
the camera just scoot over. There you
So 200-ish.
200 doesn't count Rangers Medical. I don't
So
have those
with
figures,
Rangers
so-
Medical and Sanctuary, it was probably more like 120 or 100, but about 20 volunteers at Sanctuary. I think we had 30-ish or more medical. JP said medical was staffed better than it had ever been staffed before. And we had 70-ish Rangers this year. I think we had more new Rangers this year than we had old Rangers. So you can add probably 125, maybe more volunteers in the Rangers, Medical, and Sanctuary. Sanctuary was fully staffed. But there were still some gaps in medical and rangers. So as always, we can always use more people, and we can always use more help.
What is the credentials you need for a sanctuary? Do you have to have a?
No, you just kind of need to have your shit together. Talk to them. You need to be sober and some interest and ability. You need to show up for training. It's just the ability to be patient with people.
Who here has never or doesn't know what sanctuary is? Just by raising a hand. Okay. Can you kind of give the brief?
About what?
What is sanctuary? Because I think there are a lot of people who don't know about sanctuary.
Get in front.
Hit your mark.
Sanctuary is a place for people to go that just need a break. They need to talk to somebody. There's a range of reasons why you might be mentally or emotionally overwhelmed or overstimulated. There's a range of reasons why people might want to go visit Sanctuary. And it's there as a resource for people that staff Sanctuary have had some training on just things that they might encounter. And just generally, the training essentially, Sanctuary volunteers are trained to hold space. They're not going to tell you what to do. They're not going to solve your problem. They're not going to talk you down. They're just going to hold space and let you, I guess, do or go through whatever you need to go through and hopefully come out better on the other side. David also wanted me to mention Engine 11. That's a very small department that we have. Justin was the lead for that this year. We really need to beef up that department. I think we had half a dozen people, maybe a few more. Generally, what Engine 11 did this year was chase sparks. Fortunately, we had 2 BLM fire crews and 1 fire crew from Box Elder County. We really couldn't even have this event without them. We've got to.
They're so cool.
They're an essential component. The more we could do, and that's something we're going to have to emphasize this year too, is beefing up our Engine 11 department. They kind of chase sparks, and they also run around with a water truck,
Water backpacks.
Water backpacks. Yeah, just trying to keep it under control. So that's something too that we'll emphasize more this year that really needs to grow. I guess that's it. Cool.
All right. So good. If you guys could scoot down just a little bit, that would be all right. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your busy summer Sunday to come down here and provide some feedback for us. So one of my jobs is to put together our afterburn report, which is actually a really important document, not just because Braman says we have to do it, but because it provides a story. It provides a story of how did we do the things that we did, and what did we do great, and what could be improved upon. And if all of us up here just sat and thought about things, I can imagine that we could think of all the wonderful things that we did so great. And so that's why it's always good to get good feedback from the community, who also have great ideas of, well, yeah, that was good, but perhaps it could be better. And so having community feedback, I think, is very, very important. And so thank you all for contributing all of these wonderful yellow stickies. And so what I'm going to do with this right now is we'll just kind of review it. If there's anything that prompts discussion, by all means, let's talk about it. If it's good or bad, it's totally fine. Otherwise, I'll just kind of quickly go through because there's a lot. I'll try and kind of group them together. And then I'm going to take all this feedback along with all of our feedback from the board itself. The board, one of their duties is to complete an afterburn questionnaire that I put together based on our master operational plan. Every one of us board members have specific duties and tasks and responsibilities that we're in charge of throughout the year. And then we report on those after the burn, and then it all gets put into the after-burn report, and then we use it to create our master operational plan for the following year. So it is very important, and thank you guys for participating. So let's talk about Volunteer Lounge first. Thank you, and it was the best thing. Oh my fucking God, so good, best, most important. The lounge was one of my favorite places. Huge props and thanks. And it's great that Element 11 is finally having its own infrastructure for the Volunteer Lounge. So we did buy infrastructure to have our own kitchen and things like that for the lounge this year. So, Anne, thank you. Very good.
I just want to add that one reason the Volunteer Lounge ran so smoothly is because it was always staffed with great volunteers.
Yes, which is such a good component. Our entire event is run by great volunteers. So, some ways to improve, instructions on how to make coffee at night. Maybe let's laminate that for next year. Too few volunteers ate during the festival. So if you were a volunteer and you did not eat, shame on you. You were missing out. Times need to be more flexible. Meals were not ready on time. That's always a difficult thing when you're volunteering, is like the timing of things. Let's see. Sometimes meals hard to sync with shifts. Yes. And so they're wondering if we can just have some sort of like sack lunch or something like that for during a shift change. And then make a menu that's publicized so that people know in advance like when food or what food is going to be served when. Oh, and then who is entitled to eat in the Volunteer Lounge? That just needs to be a little bit more clarified. And I think this year we did try the POGs. There's something here that says no POGs. So the POG system, we tried it didn't really work. So I know that that entire process will be rethought for next year. Right, but they say All right, so volunteers. This area encompasses shifts, recruiting, appreciation, swag, recognition program, angels. And a pro was We Build a City was the best one yet. Loved the mugs. Wish I would have gotten a shirt. We did run out of shirts, I think, at We Build This City. So a lot of the people that worked quite a few shifts at Element 11 did not get any Element 11 shifts, or shirts, which we apologize for. But it's great that we had that many volunteers at We Build This City. So that was,
I heard that a lot.
super great. Yeah. And then this one for the board. Thanks for doing all the awesome things. My feedback is to reward yourselves for all the hard work, snuggle some of your pets, and burn more things. Thank you. And then the cons, the 2-hour shifts are a strain on day leads. So our day leads are responsible for, so for example, greeters, box office, gate, volunteer lounge, well maybe not volunteer lounge, but info booth, angels. Those all had 2-hour shifts, and the day leads were responsible for checking in at the beginning of every shift, training and orienting the new volunteers. And so every 2 hours, I think that's just what they mean, is that's a lot of times to check in throughout a 10 to 10 hour day. So, but the good thing, I think, on the reverse of that is that 2-hour shift is an easier shift to fill than the 3-hour shift is. So there's a little bit of a trade-off there.
Probably for shorter shifts, like gate is probably 3 hours.
Yeah.
10 to 10, but like angels, I think it's like 10 to 4.
Yeah. Cleanup. I saw this on a couple of them. We definitely need more help during the cleanup, the post-event cleanup crew, and we've been doing a little bit of talking amongst the board. How can we incentivize people to stay for cleanup? That's always, no matter what event it is, it always seems like the problematic. Bacon is a good thing, and maybe double hours or triple hours or something like that. Yes.
I don't know if it was just me, but as far as the actual, this event lasts from this
time to this date, this time. For some reason, this year over other years, it seemed like it was GTFO at noon. Like, we want you out and gone at noon. So I am under the impression, along with possibly other people, that it was a go, we want you to go. If you didn't sign up to clean, just go.
Yeah.
That's because you were camping with me.
I did notice that, I mean, I do think that people did get the message that it was GTFO at noon. Like, I mean, people were gone by 6 p.m.
I didn't notice I slept through.
They really were gone. Well, I slept through.
Yeah,
when I woke up at 3, people were gone.
They were actually.
Kind of came across to me as it was more important that you were gone on time than it was that you were helping afterward.
Yeah.
We'll pick one.
In the years past, we've always done it the weekend after.
Uh-huh.
And so I was unaware that they needed volunteers at the end of that shift, thinking we were going to come the week after. So my schedule before I went to the festival, I said, oh, I'll plan to go up the next weekend.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden it was at the end, and I didn't schedule to have that extra day off.
Right. Okay.
And so I think
This
it's
is
the
a property owner
communication.
speaking.
Yeah.
This is
But I didn't know either.
Yeah.
And so I left on Sunday knowing that I had to get home on Sunday. Had I known a week before the festival, I would have said, oh yeah, I need to stay all through Sunday, even possibly Monday.
Right.
But I was unaware.
The first year doing it this way.
Yeah.
Years past, we've always done it the following week.
And I think there's pros and cons. There's pros to doing it right after the festival because you're already there. You don't have to drive another 8 hours to get up there and back. You know, you're there, and so that's a definite positive. But then the difficult part is, especially if you're part of a big theme camp, you have to tear down your whole theme camp, and that's exhausting. And then trying to tear down the rest of the event is also exhausting too. So I guess maybe that's a real takeaway for next year is like, let's come up with some better solution to get more people involved. And I do like the idea of doing it Sunday and Monday, but we just need to communicate that better.
That might also help with the move map too.
Yeah.
Because you're there, you're able to go and assess, and you'll have a team that's dedicated.
Yeah, we need a
So we're really
dedicated
trying to
team
improve upon
next
that.
year for sure. John?
I think it would be really helpful to have part of the theme camp application be who in your camp is designated to stay till the end until it's actually checked off the list of this camp is done.
Yeah. Yeah, the theme camp, I think the theme camps did pretty good with like exit and things like that. I think it's just when you're trying to do both a theme camp and tear down
I just
the
think
rest.
we need a volunteer that like does check out.
Yeah.
Check out.
Yeah.
I know for a fact Barbara had like no help towards the end with center camp. And
Yeah.
we went over there, there was nobody there. I felt bad that I couldn't help, but
Yeah.
we moved the crap out of everything we walked
Thank you.
past just because it was the end. It was
Yeah.
like, you know, this is the dead end.
Yeah.
So maybe we need a little bit more of, just like we have the preparation, that you prepare for everything, you build it.
And then we need the strike crew. Yeah. And the problem is generally all the volunteers who are really gung-ho and want to help do all the things, they show up for the 2 We Build This City. They show up for early entry and they build all the things and then they're exhausted during the festival and then they can barely break down their own camp. And so
the end is just
trying to get
Maybe it would make sense to have
separate
a
teams.
lead for that.
Yeah.
Exodus crew.
You just said.
Yeah.
We could do new.
You want to take that
New
over,
camera
Jack?
things.
Somebody should.
I'll make bacon.
So here's one. We need a stronger angel team during We Build This City. So there's a lot of people out there. It's really hot, 100 degrees.
I think that we did fairly well. We need sunscreen on the cart.
Sunscreen. And then we need a better method for handing out swag and t-shirts. I totally agree. I had to go steal my mug because I didn't get one. No, I didn't. And then somebody suggested, and I think this is a really great idea, is sending out appreciation notes to artists and theme camps and leads and, you know, the people that really, or the people or teams of people that really helped make our event what it was. So I know Burning Man does that. When we were part of the core crew at Burning Man, we got a thank you note for participating as a core crew or core team. So yeah, I think that that's a great idea, and I was happy that we got a lead for that project. So
Leads.
yeah, leads.
do the thing.
All right, theme camp, placement registration moot map. The pros, this year's layout was much better than last year's. But some theme camps were kind of peripheral, great overall though. And I think we ran into problems with theme camps, not me included, not knowing how much space we actually need. So I think, and I am guilty of that. But, you know, so
you should have seen Camp on the map. We're like sardines. It was like.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Sorry, Camp doesn't mention camp.
That was our fault. That was our fault.
But I think that maybe next year, if we can help provide some like ideas of the amount of space, like how much really space.
Take a measuring tape to your driveway and get your car.
Yeah, no, get your RVs all together.
But like if we could just provide something like this, if you think about last year, you know, this is how much. Yeah.
I'll just make like a approximate how much you need guys.
Yeah.
Just
Like,
provide an example.
like this is how much Juggalos had. This is how much Altitude Lounge had. Something like that. You know.
Right, yeah, because I mean, I know our camp really well, and we had plenty of space. We all fit in exactly where we thought we were going to fit in. Everything was great, so I think pretty much.
So you're better at that.
Thank you.
All right. And then they liked the way that the theme camps were placed together. It made it easy to see a lot in a short amount of time. Some of the cons, better placement markers, please. Some camps. Thanks. Yeah.
Oh,
Placement markers for camps. Yeah. Some camps with premium placement had little to no interactivity. Need a specific MOOP department, MOOP team.
Yes.
Totally agree. And hopefully in that MOOP department they would MOOP the whole city and map out the whole city rather than just the
theme
camps. But thank you for doing the theme camps. Intercity sound policy is a recommendation. Wear earplugs.
Yeah. I'm only laughing because that's every year.
Every year.
It's a new thing.
Next door camps. Oh, street conversations without sound hours. They want sound hours at 2. So,
2 a.m.
Which that just doesn't help. We don't.
Well, just to address that real quick, the sound policy they're quiet areas.
Yeah.
That's to address the problem because there's going to be sound the whole time.
Well, but there was a camp that had amplified sound that did not say that they had it, and there was multiple people who complained about that saying.
They were violating the "Don't be a dick" policy.
That is the official policy. It says "Don't be a dick" policy.
And if you have a neighbor that's causing problems with sound, like yelling in the middle of the night, you know, things like that, you're welcome to talk with them, and if that doesn't resolve the issue, you're welcome to call an arranger. But yeah, I mean, our sound policy is "Don't be a dick," and that really is, we hope that people abide by that. Oh yeah, so more warning about when cleanup is. So we already talked about that. All right, kids. Kids make great volunteers.
Yeah.
Loved having them. They really fit in. As a kid, I loved being there. Kids at Element 11 rocked it. Radical inclusion, baby. Such a non-issue. Kids supervising policy should be relaxed next year. It was awesome seeing all of them having a great time. Yes for kids, better policy. Great addition, seemed to facilitate a change in the culture for the better. Less art, or more art, less party.
Yeah.
Ow!
I was just surprised the world didn't end. I thought it was going to end.
Non-subsidized tickets meant parents were involving their kids with their burn experience.
Yes.
So I think that's a positive for standard pricing across the board. Cons, somebody says they want $12 and under for free, and I think they mean 12 years and under for free. They want kids with different wristbands. That was the original intention. Maybe we can make it happen for next year. But they suggest 12 and under, 13 to 18, 18 to 21, and then 21 and over wristbands. Getting all those different wristbands just costs more and more money every time you have to.
If you want to speak about that, can I ask why the difference between 12 and under and 12 to 18?
Every ticket that went through our gate on Wednesday night was wristband, like the children were wristbanded, the paperwork was done. So if somebody thought there was a kid who went out, then maybe it's after Wednesday night in the gate, and the gate needs to be tightened up. I did not write that, so I'm only speaking to that.
Oh, why the different colored wristbands from 12 and under and 12 to 18?
Because it's easier to see.
Because they want, I think they
Right, no,
want
it's
12 and
easier.
under.
If you're just looking, it's easier to see.
No. The question is, they're asking for a range of like 12 and under,
Right,
13 to
because
18.
they want 12 and under free, they want 13 to under, 13 to 18 discounted.
So they should have like a different colored wristband?
That's what
Oh, they want them discounted.
That's what they're suggesting.
If we're basing wristbands on pricing rather than age.
Whoever wrote that, if you want to talk, I want to know your reasoning behind that. So pull
My
me aside.
understanding was that it was more about, we had a different standard of supervision required
That's what I
for
was
13 to 18
Yeah,
than we
right,
had for
but
12
we
and
didn't.
under.
We did it this year.
But
they're
perhaps we
requesting for
will
next.
next
But
year.
having that would facilitate.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
What about a senior wristband?
Another con was there was some unsupervised kids, which shouldn't have happened, but I guess there was.
What was that?
Unsupervised kids.
I know I was unsupervised the whole time.
And then somebody, I don't know about that one.
Says
Says that they accidentally came close to hitting on a 14-year-old. I don't know what that's.
Don't do it.
Don't All right.
Maybe they meant to say 41.
Edge of Chaos, Rangers, Medical, Security, Pros, the Whiskey Pancakes. Nice to have DPW headquarters and medical and kitchen all in the same area.
Yes.
The Rangers were provided internet access by the transmitting receiver and Darren's team. So
Awesome.
thank you very much for that. They said that they're helpful. Lots of new blood, friendly Rangers. Those are all good things. Extra box elder medical coverage was very much appreciated. Yes! And a medical tent was a great place to relieve any stress buildup. Nice, quiet place to just sit and relax. So.
And the Ranger box was fantastic to stand in when you needed a little bit of air.
Yes. And fuck your day, Rangers.
Yes!
Alright, and the cons.
Wait, I wanted to say something really quick that I don't think was mentioned. We didn't have to call law enforcement out at all during the festival.
Good job, everyone. Yeah, last year we had 3 calls to law enforcement, or 4? 3. Okay. And this Okay, so 4 calls to law enforcement last year, and this year, and so then when we were getting our permitting for the event, the sheriff brought that up, charged us extra money because it was costing him money to staff our event.
It was $3,000.
$3,000 we had to pay, just as like extra money to the sheriff's department beyond the regular permitting.
This year we'll be able to say, we didn't call you once last year.
Yeah, which is great. So, good job.
We learned our lesson.
All right, and the cons, need a lost and found. We had a lost and found at the info booth. Perhaps it just needs to be like shared more and advertised and things like
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't really.
Yeah.
It was theoretically there, but it was migrating.
It was migrating. We need to figure out the lost and found a little bit better.
It
And
probably
then,
just makes sense to have it at the ranger station. I mean, that's where everybody ends up going. So.
and that's maybe
a couple places, maybe center, center camp, info booth.
To collect things and then take it to ranger station.
But when you fracture it like that, it becomes much more likely that things get lost. It's best to have getting everything.
Yeah. Anyway, something to be discussed for next year. And then somebody suggested we have a ranger outpost near center camp.
There was one.
It was not on the map, and nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
I had to
Security had a very bright light that was blinding people.
Yeah, and then a big green light.
Their green light on top of their gator was very bright.
I never noticed that.
Where? We didn't stare at it.
I noticed it.
Didn't stare at it.
You did it
Alright.
That's security.
And then somebody said that emergency cars drove really fast when there was not an emergency. So I'm wondering, like,
The ambulance.
was the ambulance driving around our festival?
I mean, there were evacuations where they were driving quickly to get their patient.
Medical people driving around in their vehicles that would pick up a lot of gas, and then I inside from 11 because I was going to yell at them going too fast.
Hey, slow down. We need more street signs.
More street signs, Toad.
It says slow down.
Yes. How about more street lights?
Don't read
How about they say slow the phone down?
Okay, and then new rangers are really cool, and that's awesome that we had so many new rangers, but many of them only did their alpha shift, so most of the new rangers only worked the one shift. So if you're a new ranger, thank you. You're very much appreciated. But we need you to work.
Don't get addicted. That's all you'll do.
No. Make all your friends be rangers too, and then
have more friends do it.
Maybe they shouldn't get their t-shirt till they come back to their mission.
That's a good idea.
Or their hat.
Or their hat.
Well, I have something to say to that.
We got hats.
What, Sunny?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well, as a new ranger, I think we were told that we might not be a ranger. So
Right.
a lot of people did not sign up for extra shifts because they didn't know if they were going to make the cut or not.
Right.
So that
So
could
we
be,
need to facilitate signing up for that shift as soon as you finish
You
your
could,
alpha.
no, we were told once you pass, go sign up for another shift.
But the problem is, my personal thing, I only worked one ranger shift, but I also worked other shifts. But my schedule at the festival is full before I ever get to the festival.
Yes.
And so I think that actually happens to a lot of people who are big volunteers. You sign up for gate, you sign up for your board shift, you sign up for your one ranger shift, and you sign up, in the kitchen or whatever you do, and you don't want to work all the time. And so I think I can understand why you can't sign up for ranger shifts until you're a ranger, but I think that that's why a lot of people, because they're already full.
Now they're ready to go for next year.
Yeah.
And the late night shifts are fun, midnight to 4.
Oh yeah, graveyard shift is bomb diggity.
I'm excited. Okay, art. So the art grant process, art projects, placement, more art, yes, most art grant money yet, and the results were fantastic. Shout out to Idaho for bringing so much art. Yeah. So great to have.
That was my favorite. I love that.
And then the cons, Born blew it and needs to try harder. Alright, EPW. New layout for the win. Portos were great and clean. Streets were wide and smooth. Love the burns and the new layout. Love the new layout with the art to the south. Alright.
Yes.
So I think people like that. The new layout, nicely done. I was the team that put that together, headed by Mr. Bourne and Mr. Topher. So thank you for making it. Alright.
No. Now we're flipping it.
So the cons, in the porta potties, the Sometimes that happens. Time to spend some money on the road. The speed bumps. We need speed bumps for speeders, perhaps inside the festival, but the road itself had plenty of speed bumps.
Oh, yeah.
Need more ice. We did run out of ice. Yeah. That was a difficult thing because last year we had way too much ice, and I think we bought the amount of ice we sold last year, and then this year we just obviously needed more ice. But I think the fire sale worked really, really well. We just need more ice in the fire
And the
sale.
extra day, yes, was.
I think just the easiest way to do that is to just enable people to purchase ahead of time when you're buying your ticket. If you'd like to buy any ice, and that way we have an exact count, and that's a great idea.
That's great.
We gotta leave.
That'd be really easy to add for online sales, but not for in-person tickets.
Yeah.
But they'd be able to go online.
Yeah.
That's fine. That is true.
Yeah.
We need streetlights that work at night. I noticed that there was several of the streetlights that had the solar lights at the bottom.
That was that windstorm.
Yeah, all of them were working, and then Wednesday or Tuesday happened. Excellent.
Not just Wednesday, it flew over 3 times.
Okay, we'll cancel all the ones. All of them.
Ice, streetlights, ice.
More streetlights that actually work for the Rangers.
Huh?
We can tell where we're at.
Yes.
Again, the streetlights blew over 3 times.
Yeah, that was the problem.
Because of the festival, and they busted up, and there was
Put them up
There were also ones that didn't even have lights on them. And as a ranger who went out with no preparation, who just went, I'm signing up for a shift, and I'm gonna do this. Like, I knew where I was, but I didn't know sometimes where I was. I was like, I think I'm here. I'm in front of this place.
Did you get your map on your Lanny?
Yes.
Sorry, I apologize.
It was still, streetlights were hard.
Yeah.
Tell where you were between the A, B, C, and D.
And maybe we need to make some more lamp posts. I'm not sure.
No, we're just gonna use like paper things or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, just more lamp posts because I think we have more intersections this year with the new layout. There you go. Yes. All right.
Do you want to put those
Don't change the layout after the map is made.
Oh, well.
That's easier said than done.
Let all the theme camps know that.
Play better placement.
Don't change your placement when you want.
So somebody suggests that to pay for the road repair, which we don't know what it's going to cost yet to repair the roads. I don't know about when you guys drove out, but when I drove out, the road was pretty much fucked.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but they suggest car passes. A lot of events and festivals, and Burning Man included, have car passes, so that's a good idea to offset some of that. Ice, roads were fun.
New top burners later.
I'm already now.
Oh, here's no porta potties south of Art on the Esplanade on the outer ring. There was porta potties on the left hand side there. Those should be over in the community area. There were a few out there. On the south.
There were bushes over there.
I know. To not have them there though.
No, I think they're complaining.
No, I complaining that they were there.
It was really hard to edit the amount of pictures.
Alright, and then somebody wants us to indicate the noisy area of the map for next year. The noisy area of the map is anywhere but Shushville.
Yeah.
Insert notice.
Alright, Dangerous Arts, which I kind of lumped in Burns, Pre-Burn Show, Fire Arts, Engine 11, all of that into this Dangerous Arts. The structures burned really fast, fell neatly, no long ass perimeters, so huge props to our build crews. The pre-burn show was awesome. This was the best one yet.
Yes.
And the wristbands for fire performers encouraged responsible behavior, which I think was such a great idea. That was a process and training people and giving them the wristbands. So. So all the fire performers were encouraged to get little. They were like
silicone wristbands. There's a fire performer
right there.
element 11.
Like Callie's.
And all they had to do was pledge to read the fire policy, get a brief spiel on safety, and pledge to follow the fire policy.
Yeah.
And it made a big difference.
Yeah.
Blew my mind to see fire performers with safety.
The thing was, nobody could say that they didn't know the fire policy.
And they all knew where they could
Where
spin.
they could spin, so you weren't being asked like every 20 minutes.
Right, that's great. Especially since, I don't know if you guys saw this, but like, I mean, while we were burning the effigies, like they had to chase the fire trail for like, way back. And so that stuff just goes up, like.
Yeah.
Props to Engine 11 and Fox Elder for helping keep that contained.
That was so great.
Yes. All right, cons. Grass fires inside the perimeter need to rake or disc areas around the burns a little bit more. I know that there was raking that occurred, but perhaps
The raking was for the fire spinners.
Oh,
The
okay.
downwind side.
Oh, it should have been raked. That makes sense.
Right.
Or tilled, yeah. Rope lights need maintained, repaired. I think that's the rope lights for the perimeter. So we just need somebody next year, whoever's in charge of dangerous arts, to take on making sure that we have the rope light perimeter in working order. 11:11 seems like a hyper-specific time for the burn if it's actually going up at 10:38 and I missed it. So, sorry about that.
It went up early because Fox Elder County said,
whenever the
the
fire
fire's
marshal
down,
says-
light this fucker now.
Yeah.
So there's a wind problem. You have to go when you have an opportunity.
The fire marshal calls up.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that we are at the mercy. We can plan all we want, and we're at the mercy of Fox Elder County. Yes.
Would it be appropriate to maybe have an alarm or something to sound so that people knew 10 minutes
Fall outside.
Love this idea. Love this. No, love this idea.
We'll have a sound.
Yeah, we're gonna start with sound.
Laminates for Ember Patrol so they can figure out who can be within the perimeter for Engine 11. For Engine 11.
You have manuals for Engine 11.
Well, sometimes it was obvious who was on Engine 11.
Well, I worked Engine 11 and I just did it because I was over there. But I put out a fire.
I ended up getting a wall stuff. I didn't realize who was on it.
Yeah, so I think.
I think that's bad.
It's more education between departments.
Yeah. Better burn time, communication, recruit.
Recruit more burn bumps.
People and professionals. What does that mean?
It means if you're a professional and you're a fire person, please come stand on our perimeter. If you're not and you're a burn bum, please come stand on our perimeter and understand why we need you on the perimeter. Like, we need more perimeter people. Even if there's just rangers that do that. Like, even if there's just people who are there to be on the burn perimeter. Like, more burn perimeter.
Yeah.
I've seen this fantastic art piece that whatever that's going to be there this year, that's the catacombs of craziness, that is recruiting. And I've seen this recruiting and I go, why can't we just have people who are literally burn perimeter? Like, that's what you want to do. You want to stand in front of your friends, watch their faces while you have the burning shining behind you, and then you go have fun.
Yep.
I had one thing to add on the dangerous arts thing. That maybe it might help the flow of the events a bit more to shift it around and have the main effigy on Friday and have the temple burn be the only burn on Saturday night.
I totally agree. I personally agree.
And then
I've
Callie also
advocated for
said
that
this.
for a long time. Yes.
With the fire performer bracelets, can I suggest that for next year we have a little bit more clarification on the requirements and stipulations for performers who are under the age of 18? Just because there was a couple of little confusion and snafus and where everybody was like, I don't really know what exactly is supposed to happen right now. So if we can get like specific, this is what the rule is, so that we can
For
either
under
say
18.
yes or no.
Yeah, I think that did actually slip through the cracks because we had the fire policy, and then kids. We knew kids were coming, but we forgot to think about that.
There's plenty of eligible children that can and do play fight with fire safety.
I mean, we had a 6-year-old in our show, so it's not like.
She was trying something clear that says, this is.
Alright.
Yeah.
Gate and box office, entry tickets, roll call, hours, things like that. Love the gate people, great experience. They love the cloth wristbands. Yes, thank you. Yes, so nice. Yeah. The ticket sales went smoothly, but we need to fix the ticket transfer process or rethink it.
Yes.
I know a lot of us on the board were out there answering emails and messages on Facebook, like on Friday, saying, I'm trying to transfer my ticket and things like that. So we just need to come up with something better there.
If you have any ideas, let me know, because I was connected to the internet doing it all fucking weekend.
Yeah. This is a good suggestion. Lights should be on for anyone on the road. So as you're driving, maybe that would be helpful. Lights on anyone
As soon as you turn off the pavement onto the gravel road, turn your headlights on until you are parked and your engine is off. Simple policy.
I was referring more to the fact that the runners that are getting tickets and IDs need to have some kind of illumination on them so they don't get hit.
Late at night when you're doing the game.
Oh,
so those hours between 8:30 and like 10:30. Like volunteers need lights. There needs to be a light at the gate.
Those are sexy.
Well, yeah.
I put glow sticks on people just because I needed to see my runners.
No. We need more distinction between box office and gate. Who's responsible for what? Are both needed? I think both are needed.
Yes.
Yes, we can clarify that for sure. Have gate and box office. Lead job one person, not two, for less confusion. Definitely.
Not a bad idea.
We're thinking about combining them next
Thinking
year.
about combining them into one department, still having two like sub-departments because they are responsible for different things, but having one person responsible, which makes a lot of sense for our festival, for our event. Volunteers not trained on the gate, and gate volunteers unable to help box office.
Because they're
one or the other. So
yeah.
And there were shifts where there were only gate volunteers, but there weren't any box office volunteers, and then vice versa, where there were box office volunteers, but no gate volunteers.
Yeah, it felt to me like they did the same thing.
Well,
but I didn't understand. So maybe somebody would come and they were box office and I was gate, and then we didn't understand who was doing what. It was all so smooth this year.
Oh, I'm sure.
It was really a beautiful thing this year, and I was so happy.
I heard all about it.
Yeah, I actually was so happy. It was really nice.
I think combining it so that they're both educated on what they do into one position is ideal.
And I
because
still advocate like a very small, brief, like laminated little card.
we do for each.
No, there's tons of information there.
Yeah,
But is it brief though? That's the problem. Is if it's got more than like 5 pieces of information on it, nobody's gonna read it. So like.
There's more than 5 pieces because that's.
Because it's a long process.
But do you want
when I
people
went
to
to
do the
SOAP,
job, or do you want
when I
them
went
to,
to
like,
SOAP and I worked in their gate department, we had a 3-hour webinar before I ever got there, just for me to work gate, and a 14-page piece of paper.
Right.
We have one front and back.
Okay.
I think we're doing better every year for sure, and I think the gate and box office went smoother.
I thought it was great. I just didn't know, like, we all worked together.
Yeah.
So we all did the same thing together, and that was fine. Like, there was no
I just
issue
think
with that.
even if you have 3 gate people and no box office people, if one person is responsible for the will call, because having multiple people responsible for the will call box gets confusing, I think. So if you have one designated person for that, and then other people are doing the cars, then that seems to work best. Whatever department they actually signed up for.
I'm gonna clarify what I meant by that. Like like, so when you have a bunch of people coming in at the gate all at once and you don't have a lot of time to spend with a car, there needs to be like a concise, these are the 5 things or whatever that you absolutely have to do to get this car through this gate.
Yeah.
And I don't think
We have that.
there's 5. Okay.
It's not 5.
But we
There's
have
that.
So there's
But you should take them out in time it takes to get the car through
It
because
doesn't actually take very long. No matter.
Shorter than Burning Man, therefore we're doing grades.
But what's important is that they do follow those because there are things that you want to be.
You have to check the ticket.
You have to check the ticket number for the avoided ticket list. You have to make sure they're not on the ban list. Jeff, you're not even listening, so don't sign up for the shift next year.
So, on a ran gate, as a bartender, I just posted myself up where I had runners. I had these 4 guys who were very new to E11, and that's why I wanted lights on, because they were running out of the road so enthusiastically. I was like, you're gonna get demolished. But go get tickets and IDs and bring them back to me.
Yes.
Now, once we have one person sitting, I've got the no-fly list, I've got the roll call, I've got everything.
Yes.
Okay, now we're good. Now you have white for 20 and down and 21 and up. So you really just need to have one person posted up, and you have runners that will go and hit the cars.
Totally.
And they were so enthusiastic. They were literally calling them on the horizon, like, I'll get that one, that one, that one.
Awesome.
So really, it really just takes about 5 people. You have one person stationed at the main section who has all the paperwork, and then you have runners who are going to go out and go grab it.
Lead right there.
Yeah, right there. Sign yourself up.
Bam!
Done.
Did I just get nominated?
You're not volunteering yourself.
Great idea.
I think having, since we have like main people, maybe at the shift changes, someone could come and quickly explain how it's done. Because like a lot of the time when I got there, if there wasn't someone that had just stayed and not explained what I was gonna do, like unfortunately I wouldn't have known what I was gonna do.
Yeah, should be there. And that's what's hard about the 2-hour shifts as well.
Yeah.
As well, that's also why we have the laminated sheets, because if nobody's there, you can pick up your laminated sheet and hopefully
figure it out.
But more volunteer training.
More volunteer training for sure.
No, not that question.
Okay, alright. Okay, and then cons, oh wait, we already talked about that. Oh, getting box office leads need radios, and I think that's just something, they were all supposed to have radios. I think we just need to educate our day leads that they need to go get a radio.
I put one there every day. There was one.
No, for the lead. I think for the lead, because you took it to the department, but the lead also needs one.
Oh, well, whoever is forward for that has one. I have one.
Anyway, okay, venue location, super awesome, peaceful, awesome. We love Box Elder County. Love the extra day. Need more wide roads.
More wide roads?
Yeah, speed limit signs need more every 5 miles. I did not write that.
They were kind of small.
Every 45.
Yeah, I'm not well lit.
Need to expand the camping space. Since the burn area is larger. I don't know, did we run out of camping space this year?
It was pretty full.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not up at the north end.
The north end.
Well, our north end was totally, they were into the bushes, they were going beyond.
No, they're talking about
Asheville still had some. Okay.
We also went helicopter issues.
Need more water trucks.
Yes.
There was like an
Expand
issue where people,
capacity.
there's an issue where people didn't know they weren't supposed to camp in the helicopter landing area. We didn't make that clear.
Not enough help for stuff at first camp. Get it together, owners.
What did you say?
At first camp, get it together, owners.
So he just mentioned something that was good, the helicopter
We gave you enough
landing pads.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
It wasn't clear, people shouldn't camp there. It's probably good to mark that off
It's a
better.
spray paint.
People ran out of space. I mean, they.
I'm sure they did actually. And then they started camping in the higher out
Open
bushes.
space in open camping that was not being used.
Get close to
There
your
was like
neighbors.
40 feet between camps.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of space.
And then,
Go look at the map.
suggest, put more art around the city, not just all on the Esplanade.
That's what the camps are supposed to do.
PR and marketing matters. Felt inclusive to newcomers, lots of information, map, what, where, when, signs, all great. Newsprint was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic PR and marketing, so creative. Love the new what, where, when, and survival guide styles, so cool. Jackalope tips were great.
People are being harsh.
It said that the what, where, when guide was hard to find on the website. There's a search feature. Okay, greeters. Pros, they were drunk. Cons, they were drunk. Alright. The greeters were handing out talking about the 10 principles scavenger hunt. I think that was our first year that we did the 10 principles scavenger hunt. And I think people really loved it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
There were kids though that couldn't find where to get the prize.
We'll need more next year.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I think because there was no left. So.
Yeah, good.
I think if a camp is gonna do a thing, maybe they should all be aware. Cause I went to a couple of camps.
They were all aware. We had conversations with all of them.
Well, like everybody in
Not
there.
everybody in
Then your camp mayor is responsible to educate you.
Well, exactly. Like I think maybe like that should be communicated to the leaders of the camp. And be
It's
like, hey,
supposed to be a
communicate to your camp.
scavenger hunt.
You
People
have
can't
that.
give you directions on where the thing
But
is.
if you go to the camp and you're like, hey, I'm here for the scavenger hunt, and the camp is all like, what?
Yeah.
That doesn't work out.
Well, then you just look around in the public spaces.
Well, are you supposed to get something like a sticker or what?
Was there any camp that hid their poster? Was there any camp that didn't have the poster displayed in a public space?
The fire trucks was on the ground, and that's after.
A con is that the greeters were interfering with the box office gate orientation, and that is really important. There's important things that have to be talked about at gate, and then there's important things that have to be talked about at the greeter station. So I think that's just education for our volunteers. Greeters get super excited. They come running over to the cars when they're still at gate. So
I think moving them across the street like that.
Yeah.
So that they're two separate.
And then somebody also wants an express lane or a bypass for the greeters. Not everyone likes spanking. And I think that is just part of education on volunteers. I personally don't stop at greeters or get out at greeters myself because I'm always like in a hurry to get to my camp and I've got all these things. But I always talk to them and go through the whole process.
They go through an education.
The educational component of it is huge. You don't have to get out and
I
get
don't think spanked either. I don't stop and get out.
And I think that's just part of what the greeters need to educate the participants in.
We should get it. We should have it.
Okay, can I? Okay, so I came in Friday night, and I didn't get stopped by greeters at all. Like, they didn't even come to talk to us, to me and my driver, at all. Like, they didn't tell us about anything.
What time did you get there?
It was like 8 o'clock at night, but still.
On Friday?
Yeah, on Friday night.
Those are tough shifts to fill too. Later at night.
Were there people there?
No, I honestly I don't remember because there was other issues that I had to help out with the person I drove with.
Yeah, we should have been staffed till 10, so I apologize. But you didn't get the greeter experience. Yes.
I think separation between greeters and gate needs to be bigger because you have so many large vehicles, and now the greeters are going to take X amount of time. You can only go so fast as a gate person. We can start backing them up and getting them going slowly.
The problem
through.
is the layout of the road has the sideburns, and so it's hard to move gate any further that way.
Gotcha.
Little bit.
Because of the sideburns, and you can't like pull a vehicle over if. So anyway, we're kind of stuck.
This is our second year trying to figure out a solution to that, and we're still trying
we are working on that.
One big, really alarming thing was it's always kind of an issue, and funny, haha. But intoxicated volunteers or anyone anywhere near a laminate or a logo or a laminate, if you're fucked up, don't come volunteer. Like, I don't know, trying to like expect everyone to be adults and say, hey, be functionally sober. That was always my policy back in the day, but it's. I don't know, so lots of people that were just uselessly
I don't see anyone.
I didn't either.
I've seen some of that, and that's something we'll discuss and correct.
Alarm.
I think perhaps if you notice that in the future, alert whoever's vote on.
Okay.
That would be helpful so that we can address the situation.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't aware of any. I know people were drinking on shift. When you're gate or greeters and you're having some wine or whatever, I think that that's fine. But
Have a
if
beer
you're,
an hour, that's
but
cool.
if you're
5 beers an
shit-faced,
hour, no
yeah.
bueno. Yeah.
All right, Info Center Camp. Love the live bands. Ranger on.
Live bands are awesome.
They were awesome.
That was
yeah.
awesome. That's really clap.
Ranger on
Yeah. Barb rocks.
duty watch for.
At center camp. We had a lot of ranger calls to center camp.
Yes.
Late
Oh,
night, so
yeah.
have a ranger stationed at center camp.
Yes, or right next to if there's ranger headquarters right there. Already talked about.
Barb asked me, that makes sense, that she gets a radio all the time.
And she got one eventually.
Yeah.
I think she had one for about half.
Okay.
I got it before she got
Yeah.
She's just used to 4 radios at a time.
Yeah.
So we need a fixed location for Lost and Found. We already talked about that. Lost and Found schedule's not sure at the info booth. So I think our info booth was better than it has been ever in the past, and so I think we can just continue to improve
It
that.
was the most staffed I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was great. And it was the location was great. Combining it with the Hug Belly, I thought was great. Unclear that the Hug Station was the info booth.
Yeah.
I think there was
There was
a big sign, but
I think it
we
disappeared.
could try to make it more clear.
There was
Really?
a vinyl banner too that didn't get hung up, I think.
Oh, yeah. Need a radio at the info booth and at the lounge at all times. That comes back to the day lead. The day lead needs to check those out and get them to those departments. Center camp was what does that say?
Yeah, the lounge did have a radio.
Dark.
Yeah.
Oh. Center camp was dark a lot of the time.
That's how it is Burning Man too.
Sorry?
I mean, not
There's
dark.
always things going
There's just
on.
not always
I
things
think
going on.
having the stage as far as it was with no shade was part of the problem. Which it was our first year of this new layout. I think next year we have plans to put shade over
Especially over the shade for the
stage
performance
area.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, like the whole first night, the power hadn't shown up for
Right.
two.
Yeah. So, and somebody couldn't find the info booth. That happens.
Gary, there was one more pro for center camp. It was completely powered by solar this year.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Tell them the solar wasn't there until.
Hallelujah. It was 98% powered by solar.
It got there on Thursday. Just on a
Yeah,
Thursday.
4:30 in the morning. That was
It
specific.
Technologies, the radios in and out worked great. New radios were great, no hassles, and they were cheap and they
New
were
radios
really
were
low.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
The cons, trunk, repeater,
The repeater was
didn't
broken.
work. Okay.
Yeah.
So the radios only direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all had to be on the same channel.
Yeah, so we only had one channel. But we're small enough event.
Well, the repeater makes it a lot easier to manage traffic and like through narrows and lights and that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So it was a benefit when we had it.
Okay. But we're working on that for next year? Fixing the, okay. And E11 net not working, although it did work some of the time when Darren was working on it.
So, I was told that the internet was only for emergencies and everything, and then I looked on the volunteer ship and there was all the password in it, the volunteers didn't have to use it
There
for
were
the
two. There were
password.
two different networks, and one was for volunteers and one was for emergency.
Okay.
All right.
I
Sorry
had
that took a little bit, but I'm glad that we got through it.
Carrie.
Thank you guys for the
Thanks,
discussion.
Carrie.
I have a complaint. I was told that Daft Punk was going to be playing.
Did you see them? They were
I saw them.
Guess you were just on the wrong side of the track.
They were at the trash fest.
Wow.
The other trash fest.
Does anybody have any, we'll do some questions briefly, really quickly, because we're kind of over time. Does anybody have any?
Anything else?
Justin.
Leave no trace. There is an art card that
was found out there,
What?
left behind.
Our
Still.
car. Our car. Still.
All
Take
our
it.
car. That's
Can I have ours?
Can
I
have around his home. The stage, the purple car with the ramps and stages on it.
So we're just not sure who to talk to about that. If you guys want to address it or if you want us to contact.
Yeah. Is this still there? I'll get a hold
Yeah,
of
it's
him.
still there.
I'll talk to him and figure out what's going on. I have not heard that at all.
I think we may have
Is it in the festival area?
It's right next to our camp.
Yeah, right up on the north loop.
Well, shit.
And I think there was an arrangement he was going to come back a week later and pick it up, but it just never picked it up.
Anybody else?
I've got 5 gallons of gas.
Alright, well that's it guys.
I tried. Alright, who's gonna win a ticket for next year's Element 11?
Me.
Stan. Thank goodness. I was worried about that.
Maybe I'll gift this and have like an essay contest.
Do what David did and make somebody be your, what is it called? A Sherpa. Give someone a ticket and they give you a Sherpa. They have to do all the things for you.
It was like the naked bacon
intern.
See? Like fake high five. Yeah, see? Alright.
Great idea.
Well, thanks for coming, guys. If we can get your help, fold up the chairs and place them against this back wall behind Mindy.